This was one of the worst movie-going experiences I've had in a long time. There was this group of teenagers that were sitting in the same row as I was, and they were talking almost throughout the entire movie. They were just laughing and giggling and on their phones like, oh my god, dude, look at this. And the more they were talking, they were just so obnoxious. And I just hope the next time I go to the movies, that just never happens again. Hey movie buffs, I'm Jack Benner and welcome to my review of Jurassic World Dominion. Jurassic World Dominion is the third film in the Jurassic World trilogy, as well as the sixth film in the Jurassic Park franchise overall. And this sequel is directed by Colin Trevorrow, who directed the first Jurassic World, starring Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard, Sam Neill, Laura Dern, and Jeff Goldblum. Set 4 years after Fallen Kingdom, dinosaurs live and hunt alongside humans. Owen and Clara, as always played by Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard, are protecting Maisie until she gets kidnapped and they go to rescue her. While that is going on, Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler are back as they're trying to stop an evil corporation that Ian Malcolm is involved in. Now, Jurassic Park is one of my top 5 favorite movies of all time and might be my favorite Steven Spielberg film personally. I think it's one of the best blockbusters ever made, with groundbreaking effects, memorable characters, John Williams' iconic score, and thrilling action. Sadly, I felt like the sequels weren't able to be on par with that first movie. I did enjoy The Lost World, although I felt like it was inferior to the first. And Jurassic Park 3, not a fan of that one. And 14 years after Jurassic Park 3, Jurassic World has came out in theaters. And I still enjoy that movie to this day. I think it's good, but not great. While Chris Pratt, I definitely think is the best part of that movie and makes for a great action lead, I felt like there were script issues with unnecessary subplots and one incredibly stupid decision made by a certain character. I think that is the second best of the Jurassic Park movies. And then in 2018, we got Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. I remember back in 2018, I gave it 3 stars out of 5, a mildly positive review, so I haven't seen Fallen Kingdom since, and looking back to that movie 4 years later, I think it's a mixed bag. While the volcano sequence is very exciting and J.A. Bayona did the best he could with his directing, after the volcano sequence, I felt like the movie went downhill when we get to the mansion and the auction. The villains were weak, there was one annoying comic relief character, and the ending decision when Maisie released all the dinosaurs, that kind of felt like a forced cliffhanger for the next movie, which leads us to this new one, Dominion. Now I have to be honest, I wasn't super excited about Jurassic World Dominion. I didn't think the Jurassic World movies have been that great. I have been too excited even with the original trio coming back and Colin Trevorrow behind the camera again. The trailers were decent and entertaining that I feel like could go either way. It could be good and entertaining just like Jurassic World, or it could be okay or even just not good at all. I saw Jurassic World Dominion on Monday and I went in open-minded, and all I was hoping for was an enjoyable finale to this trilogy. So is Jurassic World the satisfying finale we have been hoping for? The answer, it is not, unfortunately, and I'm sad to say, I was not a fan of Jurassic World Dominion, and honestly, I think it's the worst of the Jurassic World movies. Let's start with the pros. My favorite part about Dominion was seeing the original trio back, from Sam Neill, Laura Dern, and Jeff Goldblum. It's like they never left these roles, and luckily they weren't cameos like Ian Malcolm was in the last movie and used better here. And in particular, Jeff Goldblum just steals the show once again as Ian Malcolm. He still maintains the charm and funny lines he usually has as the character. And Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard are still likable leads. They still have their charisma and still good in the action scenes. It was fun at the climax just seeing the mix of old and new characters. There are some well done and entertaining action scenes in this movie. In particular, my favorite action scene in this movie was this motorcycle chase set at Malta that was very exciting. And another intense action scene involving Claire crawling to this lake to avoid this one dinosaur. And the effects are still great once again. I still admire that this franchise is using a combination of CGI and animatronics. Just love whenever characters are just like touching and petting a dinosaur, it still looks real. But unfortunately, that's where pros end, and now let's get into the cons. First, my big issue with Jurassic World Dominion, the story is all over the place and it's surprisingly convoluted. This feels like 2 different movies going on, one involving Owen and Claire, a rescue mission, and another involving this evil corporation and what's going on with them, and there's stuff going on with Maisie and the history behind her, and also there's a subplot involving Locust. And that locust subplot just kind of grinds the story to the halt. It just takes the forefront over the dinosaurs, which is surprising since this is Jurassic Park. Along with that, the villain in this movie is awful, and I think he is the worst Jurassic Park villain I've seen. Not only from the start, I just knew he was the villain right away. It's like, that's the villain. But he's mostly just a generic and forgettable villain, especially one scene in the climax when he overacts. I almost laughed out loud in the theater. I just couldn't take him seriously as a threat. And this is the longest Jurassic Park movie to date. This movie is 2 hours and 27 minutes long. I really felt that runtime. This movie was kind of boring, to be honest. And I can't remember the last time I called a Jurassic Park movie boring, but I was bored watching this movie. It was 50-50 on the entertainment. Sometimes it was, sometimes it wasn't. And the story just wasn't very engaging, and it was just difficult to follow, keeping track of everything that's going on, that I honestly just had a hard time following this movie. And is it me, or do Owen and Claire feel kind of one-dimensional in this movie? While Pratt and Howard do a good job here, and they are both likable actors, I just felt like they really didn't get to do much as characters. And Owen, I just feel like he did not have an arc in Fallen Kingdom and here. Pratt is still charismatic and a great action star, but I just felt like they didn't do much with him as a character. He barely got anything to do. And Claire does have an arc, being a mother to Maisie, but I don't feel like it's fully established for me to get invested in that. And before the motorcycle chase in Malta, which I felt like was the best action scene in the movie, I was not a fan of how Colin Trevorrow directed the hand-to-hand combat scenes. It was way too shaky and quickly edited that it kind of became hard to follow. And I didn't feel like it was intense and visceral enough. And watching one particular hand-to-hand fight scene, I just thought, is this a Jurassic Park movie or a Jason Bourne movie? In conclusion, while it was great to see the original trio return, there are some entertaining action scenes and the visual effects are still great. Jurassic World Dominion is a lackluster finale that has a boring and convoluted story and awful villain. And overall, I just didn't get the feeling of finality or satisfaction watching this. And when it ended and the credits rolled, I thought, that's the end of everything? Okay. Yeah, kind of similar to how I feel about Rise of Skywalker, and I remember Colin Trevorrow was going to direct that. Is this the worst Jurassic Park movie? To me, it would so far be my second to least favorite next to 3. But I have a feeling over time, and if I think about it more, this could be my least favorite Jurassic Park movie, to be honest. If you like the first 2 Jurassic World movies, and if you're excited to see this movie, do check it out, and I think you might enjoy it. And if you did enjoy this movie, I'm really happy you enjoyed this movie. I really wish I was in the same boat as you. And if you did not like Jurassic World or Fallen Kingdom, then you're not really missing much from this new one. Or if you liked both and didn't like the other, I feel like it could go either way to where you might enjoy it or feel the same way. So I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that. I was hoping for a good finale. I felt like there was room for improvement. Maybe this could be the best Jurassic World movie. But in the end, I was just let down when it ended and I just did not like it at all. And now to grade it, I am going to give Jurassic World Dominion 2 stars out of 5, a C-. After this movie, I'm honestly feeling fatigued with Jurassic World, and I feel like this franchise has just ran its course at this point. And honestly, I'd say just wait for this movie to come out on digital or on DVD and Blu-ray. I don't feel like it's a must-see in theaters, despite how well it's doing at the box office right now. But if you want to see a better Legacy sequel currently playing in theaters right now, go see Top Gun Maverick, or go see it for a second or third time, as I felt like that was more engaging and a more emotionally satisfying film than this. So I'd like to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on Jurassic World Dominion? Do you agree? Disagree with my review? Let me know below. Or if you haven't seen Jurassic World Dominion yet, are you looking forward to the film or not? Let me know below. Did you enjoy hearing my thoughts on this movie? If yes, please hit that like button and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and notification bell for my next upload. It really means a lot. And until the next video, I'm Jack Benner and look forward to another movie review.